everybody does in Orange County when they stop breastfeeding.
Today, the OC housewives go wild at a weaning party. Tanya Sam is breaking down the latest drama on the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I'm going all in.
And Quad Webb is talking about living single on Married to Medicine.
What is a small thing to a giant? Absolutely nothing.
This is your reality check.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, get into it.
Happy Hump Day, y'all. Welcome to the show. I'm Darren Karp, and with me today is a People.com reality expert and a man who needs no introduction, the incredible Dave Quinn. How are you? How are you, Dave?
I'm doing well. I just started weaning myself.
Oh, you weaned?
Yes.
We need to have a party then.
No longer breastfeeding. Let's have a huge, huge party.
It only took
Bring in the
30-something
strippers.
years. Yeah, oh, God. The thought of you breastfeeding, that's going to be a show today. Well, Dave, you miss a day, you miss a lot here in reality, so let's catch the people up. It's time for our top 5. At number 5, the Duggar family is denying a report by KNWA that their home was raided by Homeland Security last week. A rep for the family told People in a statement, "We were shocked to see a news report state that our home was raided by federal law enforcement agencies. This is not true." The rep went on to say that no member of the family is the target of any investigation of any kind. Their denial comes after an HSI spokesperson reportedly told the news outlet that agents were present at the reality star's home pursuant to an ongoing federal criminal investigation. Oof. This is kind of wild. Maybe just because there's so many of them that at some point the average are that they're going to get a home invasion, right? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but I think it just goes to show just how insane some of these reports can be, and undocumented that can be really struggling. So I'm glad, really hard rather. So I'm glad that they came out with their truth.
Yeah.
That hadn't happened. But what an insane story.
I would scare me if like I knew something was happening to my family and I didn't realize it. But thank God for social media where you can just spell that very, very quickly.
Exactly.
At number 4. Chicago and Psalm are ready for their close-up. Kim Kardashian West shared an adorable snapshot of her 2 youngest kids, captioning the post, "My heart." The siblings were coordinated in pastel outfits for their photo op. Do you live for the Kardashian kiddos, or are you sick of it yet? Like, you must see it all the time.
I'm not sick of it. I have to say, I'm like supremely charmed by all of them. Every time, these Halloween costumes, each one of them were more hilarious to me than the last.
They're
really
crazy.
Went all out. I liked it. That is Kanye, right, in the dinosaur suit?
I know, he probably hired a stunt double to be him in that, because that has to be kind of hard.
I live for it all, and I love how cute they all are. And I'm ready for the next generation of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
That is going to be a different type of spin-off.
It'll be awesome.
Awesome.
It's the Degrassi of the next generation. We're ready to take it to the next level.
Well said. At number 3. One day after weighing themselves on live TV, Hoda and Jenna are motivated to start intermittent fasting. The Today co-hosts kicked off the 4th hour with their first meal of the day. Hoda admitted she was mad after the weigh-in the day prior, and Jenna, who had her 3rd child in August, said the weigh-in was tough on her mental health, saying, "I was reminded today why I don't weigh myself." The hosts explained that they are not going to weigh themselves every day, just periodically to check on their progress. Do you weigh yourself every day? Like, how do you sort of handle this?
I have to say I do weigh myself every day because
Really?
I had a pretty substantial weight loss doing intermittent fasting and keto. I lost about 65 pounds.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've gained probably about 10 back, so I'm a little bit healthier than I was in the beginning, but it's hard to stay on top of. I give them a lot of respect for kind of going on national television and doing it. It's something I do in a shame spiral in my bedroom.
And do you weigh yourself at the same time of day every single day?
Yeah, just to see if I'm kind of staying on track.
And you are. You look good.
Well, thank you very much. This wasn't meant to be a way to compliment myself, but I live for it.
Well, listen, especially for women, though, it is hard to weigh yourselves and to see that number. I mean, even if you're feeling good, I wouldn't want necessarily people to know my weight.
And like Jenna just had a baby, right?
Right.
So that's like extra hard. They're both working moms. I mean, I give them a lot of
And to be fair, they both look good.
They look amazing, yeah.
There you go. At number 2. In more Kardashian news, Kim opened up about her own booming beauty business just days after Kylie Jenner sold a majority stake in the Kylie Cosmetics to beauty conglomerate Coty. While there have been reports about sales declining this past year for KKW Beauty, the reality star says they're doing better than ever. In an interview with Women's Wear Daily, she says, "I'm very active during sales and launches. We've doubled in a year. It makes me proud of the brand. It makes me want to push to do exactly what I want to do." What does like a slump in Kardashian cosmetics mean? Like,
Probably
they didn't sell $1
nothing.
billion today, or
So, whatever they sold, it's going to be bigger than anything I'll ever make in my life. I'm
Right,
very
like-
proud of her. She's doing great.
one day for them is
I
like
know.
they can sell ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
Right. I think it's very natural for people to want to pitch these, these sisters against one another, but they're both insanely successful in their businesses. Let's just recognize that there's not an infinite amount of success. Everybody can have
Yes.
a piece of the pie. They're doing well for one another.
And you know, it's important to have bad days so you can really appreciate the good too. Like that's the thing. Like not everything can be on the up and up all the time,
Right, of
even for the
course.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
And at number 1, ahead of his shocking Dancing with the Stars elimination this past Monday night, James Vanderbeek posted a short clip of himself performing a jazz number during last week's boy band and girl group night. Katie Holmes showed support for her former Dawson's Creek co-star in the comment section, calling his dance to NSYNC's Bye 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 amazing. You know, with all these reboots happening, are we here for a Dawson's Creek reboot? Because I absolutely am.
I am 100% here for it, though the saddest part is that knowing that Jen isn't around anymore, we wouldn't have Michelle Williams be a part of it. That would be very hard. It would have to be something else.
She could come back as like the
As a
ghost
ghost,
of
yeah.
the creek or something like that. But
Yes, haunting the creek.
it was my first, like, Dawson's Creek defines my formidable years. And so to see this friendship kind of, you know, play out on social media even 20 years later, especially after something so hard like a miscarriage, it's really, I don't know, it warms my heart.
Well, I have to ask then, were you Team Dawson or were you Team Pacey?
Okay, I will say I'm just a team like Joey Potter fan, to be fair. As a little gay girl, I didn't really care about the boys. I like Joey to be on my side.
All right.
But okay, everyone loves Pacey, so I'm into Team Pacey. What about you?
I was definitely Team Pacey for sure.
Everyone was.
Yeah, I mean, but I also I was very affected by that show, Team Jack.
Yeah,
really
there's
who I was.
exactly. There was a lot of like good moments.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, we're headed to break, and on the other side, the Tanya Sam from Real Housewives of Atlanta will be joining us. Stay tuned.
I love me some Tanya. You know, first she started out, she was Nene's friend.
I love your shirt.
Thank you.
So what are you up to?
Then she was Eva's good friend.
Yes, you naturally stop.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
Now she's my friend.
Welcome back to the show. Here with us now is the fashionista, the tech queen. She's a friend, a good friend, and a friend to the Atlanta Housewives. But now she's on our couch. Welcome to the show, our friend, Tanya Sam. Tanya, how's it going?
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's the best intro ever.
Yes, you're gonna be our BFF.
Yeah, your lower third is just friend of a friend.
I love it. I'm like friend squared. I'll take it all though. I want to be everybody's friend.
Do you
Yes, I
like
love that.
do you like how how Bravo does that for you,
Yes.
or are you like, yeah?
Everybody thinks it's super shady, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm totally fine with it. Like, I want to be the United Nations of friendship.
That's what we're gonna put up for
Yeah.
reality check, I promise you. How is Porsha's foot doing after her surgery?
So it's really interesting because it's taken a lot longer for her to recover.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of fun. I'm like, I'll just come over and nurse you with some wine and some
Yes.
good food, and we just catch up on episodes and
gosh.
So fun.
the blogs and gossip.
I need to like hurt my foot so she comes over and takes
That's what
care
you
of
have to do.
us.
They
Yeah.
I
roll-
put together her scooter. She had me working though.
Oh my!
Oh yeah.
Love it. They
That's good
rolled her
friends.
onto the BravoCon stage in a wheelchair. It was
yeah.
hilarious. It was so
Hilarious. Like, how funny is this? Yes.
Look
funny.
at
She's
her
still
go.
twerking in that wheelchair.
Yeah. She literally doesn't. She never stops.
I know.
We actually saw you make your debut on this season on Sunday's episode. What has changed for you being on this season versus last season, outside of your friend, good friend title?
Well, I will say, like, anybody's first season on a reality TV show, like, you just have no idea what to expect. Like, now I kind of have my footing a little bit better.
Sure.
I've learned to be a little bit more assertive because I feel like my nature is not to be necessarily as confrontational. Like, I'm a little bit more meek. I'm not so meek anymore.
No, you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, you are not.
No,
you are
I'm
an
not.
assertive, strong woman.
Trying to, give the people what they want.
Absolutely.
And everybody, the people want you to be a full-time housewife. Everybody is asking, is that something you
know.
want? You
You want to hold a peach? Yeah.
So I feel like you never say never, but I love being a friend. Like, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I get to like work and travel and have a job over here and a job over there. So
Right.
I don't know, I just kind of love it.
I kind of view it as being like the fun aunt. Like you don't have
Yes.
to raise the kids. You get to take the kids shopping.
And give them back.
And then like when they cry or poop, you're like, oh, not my problem.
Okay,
It's
I'm
good.
going to use that analogy all the time.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
can step in,
Yes.
stir the pot, get the hell out.
Get out.
Yes.
Easy.
And then watch from like the balcony.
Yes, like sipping your tea. Now, you're still engaged to the handsome
Yes.
Paul Judge, and
Yes.
your story is an interesting one. You two met in LA and
Yeah.
went out to drinks at Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant the same day, right?
Yes.
So you had your own little BravoCon on your first
I
date?
didn't even realize like just how things come back together. But yeah, that's exactly how we met. And we went to Villa Blanca, had some drinks.
Oh.
And 5 hours later, he was saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to be in New York on Friday. Are you around?" BS. He made that up to just like get a second date.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you knew, like, did you know? Like,
No, I didn't know till like months after he had been dating that the trip was made up. He was just like, I got to secure this girl.
Well, he's a
Very
handsome
cute.
devil. Yeah, a
I
handsome
really
devil.
like him. And I know you were playing things close to the vest, but come on, give us something. Are you two planning on getting married?
like,
What's happening? I want to know all the details.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When?
I mean,
Oh, you want details?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want like dates. When is our invite going to happen?
Yes.
What's happening?
So I tell people, if I invite you to something, show up because you just never know.
We'll be there.
You know what I'm
So,
saying?
so you may just do the surprise wedding.
I don't need gifts. I don't need the big hurrah, like picking 10 dresses. I'm not really all that interested in that. And people always get at me. They're like, well, are you married this? Because I say it interchangeably.
Right.
It's just not about the title piece of it.
Yeah.
But I love a good party. And I love to like party with my friends and family.
Okay.
Are there
Yes.
any
That's
Atlanta?
the best of both
Yes,
worlds,
it's the best
really.
thing.
Are there any Atlanta housewives you wouldn't invite to your wedding?
Oh, there for sure are.
Like
I
who?
just feel like, you can't poke the bear, and especially like, Paul, and I'm very not sensitive about my relationship. I'm very protective of it because I just love it so much. So if you do anything to try and undermine that, you are like excommunicated from my book.
Who's
Certainly my wedding.
Who's the bear in Atlanta Housewives? I want to know that you don't want to poke.
I'll tell you, there's a lot. There's the bear, there's the snake. This season is all about the
It's all about the
animals.
animals. ASPCA is all over the Atlanta Housewives right now.
No animals were harmed in the filming of this production.
Would you want your wedding to be televised if possible?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know. It remains to be seen because I kind of feel like, there's two sides where you can just get crazy and everybody gets crazy. And my normal friends, not on my reality TV partner friends, I want them to be able to just let loose. And I think they wouldn't let loose in the same way. They're not accustomed to being on camera.
Right.
So I want everyone to be the authentic selves. And, reality TV is very different.
Yeah, and I've told my dad this before. Like when that red light comes on, you don't
God.
know. Like that red light changes everything.
Yes,
and
it
like
sure
sometimes
does.
people are the same and sometimes they're different.
It sure does.
I've
My
learned
dad
from,
would be hilarious.
I've learned from Andy to be the same, but it can be tough. It definitely can be tough.
And what does Paul think of it anyway?
Yeah,
Does
good
he
question.
love it? Like the whole
Which
Housewives.
part?
Oh, Paul's the one who really pushed me to doing it.
Oh, wow.
He was like, you know what? He's very like YOLO. You just take every opportunity, and that was not necessarily my personality, but he's very much like, hey, if someone offers you a ride on a spaceship, you just get on and you don't ask questions.
Smart.
So true.
Isn't that crazy? So he was very like, okay, let's do it.
And is he popping around this season? Will he?
You'll see him a little bit on the season with some of the episodes and stuff. And he was pretty heads down. Like, Paul's like a visionary nerd in the classic sense.
Love
I'm a
that.
bit more bubbly than Paul. So he's very happy to let me do a lot of the talking and just show up when he has to and be like, okay, babe.
Listen, you're a visionary yourself. I have to ask you about the tech world. You're actually a big proponent for diversity in the tech industry. Can you tell us about that initiative?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And a lot of this came out of being on Housewives. Like I've worked in startups and technology in Atlanta for years, but more of the deep tech side in terms of investment and education. But when I got on Housewives, I was inundated by like women and other entrepreneurs who were building companies across like all industries, whether it's selling hair, CBD products, and they were building these amazing businesses. And they were like, can you help me? I want to be successful as well. And so that's where the Ambition Fund came from. We're an investment company for women and underrepresented founders. And that's like the Latinx, LGBTQ community, anything outside your traditional your traditional markets that were getting access to capital. So we're just trying to help more people build scalable businesses.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
incredible.
miss being like on the field? You miss being a nurse?
Oh, I do kind of miss nursing. I'm
Yeah.
honestly once a nurse, always a nurse. And like you saw last season, there's those opportunities pop up all the time. Like
Right.
someone will puke or someone will pass out on a plane.
Right.
So
We
you
need
get
ya.
the adrenaline rush. But I miss like the camaraderie, which of like being in the sisterhood of nursing. So I feel like maybe that's why I'm so attracted to the Housewives, because they're like, there's nobody else like it who's in the industry like you. So you get it, when you're like, oh my gosh, that red light came on, you call your girl and you're like, can you imagine?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's kind of like I'm switching potions.
Yeah, hey, it's good to be
Yeah.
multifaceted. Now, I actually want to jump back into the show and touch on a moment from Sunday's episode where Marlo tried to prepare Nene for her run-in with Cynthia at Pride. Let's take a look at that.
Get on the float, and Cynthia's right there. What are you gonna say?
What? I
Hey,
don't have no
Cynthia, how
problem.
you doing, Bailey?
I have no problem.
Can you please say that for me, though?
Girl, you
Come
act like
on
you
up.
over here talking to somebody that needs some help. I don't need any help. I can say hello. I'm not trying to sin, okay?
When Marlo says the captain is speaking, I totally related. I just love it. Is Nene in a better space now that Greg is doing well?
Oh my gosh, this season is really incredible. Like we've come a long way, and you see it play out. Even from where Nene and I were last season, you'll see in last week's episode, just you can tell that she is feeling so much better. She's got so much security in the fact that Greg is on the mend, because it's tough to go through. And even her interaction here with Marlo, and they're joking, and Marlo's trying to like advise her on how to proceed. Like she is still Nene.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Of
course.
But you can just tell it's at a different place. So I'm excited to kind of show that trajectory, especially as it relates to the rest of the girls and stuff.
Only in Atlanta could Marlo be telling Nene to like zen out. Like that's what I love about it. It's like, Marlo, you've gotten in your share of fights too. That's why I love it.
Oh, well, it'll get very interesting.
But speaking of Nene, knowing kind of what you know from the other end of the medical field,
Yeah.
what she was going through last season was really tough.
It was really tough.
And did you kind of have compassion for her, what she was going through in that sense? Like, did you understand her in a way that maybe the women didn't?
And I definitely did, because I've lived that experience for so long, being an oncology nurse as well. And some of that played out, I think. I felt like I bit my tongue a lot because I had this empathy and compassion for where she was.
Right.
And, oftentimes the viewers would be like, come on, girl, give it to her. And I held back a lot because I was like, guys, and then there's a certain time where we had the opportunity to sit there and voice it and be like, girl, we were trying to be nice to you. You weren't receptive to it.
Right.
So for sure, I definitely felt like I was giving her a lot of just compassion and stuff. But then we're interesting characters because we also share the same birthday. So there's other things. Yeah, we do.
I didn't
December
know
13th.
that. Oh, coming up. Happy
love
early
it.
birthday.
So there's other times when you're just like, oh no, I'm not going to let that fly.
That's when you switch from being Nene's friend
To Nene, good friend of Porsha, to friend. What is going on with her relationship with Cynthia? And has it affected your relationship with Nene?
Oh, good question. So this is a lot of stay tuned, because that was not an easy one to mend.
Yes.
I think, as you look at like different trajectories of friendship, like Nene and I, we'd been obviously had a much shorter television friendship and real life friendship than her and Cynthia. So it was like deeper wounds. Of
course.
So you'll see it play out. But it wasn't easy. Like it took some work. It took a lot of like pushing from a lot of different angles and friends and girls on the show to like make it happen. And I think you'll see.
And you're in a good place with both of them currently
Yeah.
right now. Got it.
I want to also ask you about Kenya, because Kenya had said that Nene had allegedly tried to spit on her during a cast trip. Now, we'd actually spoke to Cynthia about it as well. Were you there for what we're calling Spitgate?
Spitgate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walk us through this one.
As much as you can.
Let me tell you, there's just so much energy on this season and so much friction. Like when I say explosive, like there were times where I was just like, stop! That is gonna happen over and over again. Now, I did not see the spit on the person.
Oh.
I
Okay.
will tell you that.
Okay, so
So
it
if
could
there
be
was a
hearsay. Here's spit.
I didn't say it.
Here's spit.
I saw, we had some really amped up conversations, but my eyes didn't see it. Now, there could be some other people that saw things, but I did not see that.
This is what I love about the Housewives. You all get passionate, you get into it.
Yes.
You're all strong-minded women with lots of opinions. I am here for it.
I'm here for Atlanta.
I'm here for you guys.
Yeah, that's what we like. Well, Tanya, thanks so much for chatting with us today. Watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta Sunday nights at 8, 7 Central on Bravo. Up next, we're keeping it in the family with Quad Webb from Bravo's Married to Medicine. Don't go anywhere.
Long live the vajayjay, honey. It gives birth, and sometimes it even kills. Oh, Lord.
Truer words have never been spoken. Welcome back. With us now is another beautiful lady from Atlanta, Miss Quad Webb from Married to Medicine. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
How are you doing?
Oh, good to see you all again.
So good to see you. You look beautiful. You really turned out for people today.
I did, honey. I turn out for the people every day.
Yeah, I know that.
Live for that color purple reference.
Honey,
Yeah.
honey, Tanya, he died on top of me.
Well, listen, this was a fun last week, and I know you were enjoying BravoCon.
Yes.
What was the most memorable moment for you?
Memorable. I would have to say to see so many Bravo celebrities in one place at one time.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like we did the Summer by Bravo. I've done the Summer by Bravo before, and that was cool. Like that was about 15 to 20 of us. But like to see like 77 Bravo celebrities on one stage, it was epic. It was epic, and it was amazing to be like the kickoff of something new for Bravo. So it was
Amen.
great.
And
Yeah.
I miss those Summer by Bravo so
I know,
much. I
right?
love those
Who
campaigns.
got tired of being creative?
I know.
Because they were so good.
They were so fun.
Andy's listening, of course. So yeah, I blame Andy 100% for this. I'm sure. Yeah.
Now, I know tomorrow's going to be a big day in Married to Medicine world. You are filming that reunion.
A long day.
Let me know, what are you kind of excited about?
Everything.
Everything?
I'm very excited to be here
ready.
for season 7. Honey, I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. And I'm not just saying that because it rhymes. I'm saying it because it's on time. No, I am very excited about it. I think, you know, it's all about truth telling, you know, and give the girls a little truth serum. You know, they use a little eye serum for their crow's feet. Let's give them some truth serum so they can stop lying. I think, yeah, I'm excited.
Will you have receipts behind pillows ready
I have
to pull out?
everything.
She's gonna take him out of her
Trust
bra.
me.
She's gonna take him out of her
Trust me.
shoe thing.
Baby, you see how I got it right here. Right there, just a little something on the boots.
Well, I gotta
In
say,
case I get frisked, I got it on the boot, honey. It's on the boot.
well, I gotta say, you look fantastic
Thank you.
in
So
your new
much.
life. Your girl Heavenly
appreciate
tried
that.
and failed to set you up with a couple of blind dates. Has she tried to set you up again since then, and do you trust her to do that again?
She doesn't get another try. Absolutely not. I will never trust her again to put anybody before me to try to hook me up with them. No, it was a disaster. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So one man was like, fee, fi, fo, fum, and the other man was like a little Stuart Little, and then he came into the bathroom. I mean, who does that? Like, no.
Yeah, no, that's
No.
you had your chance, and
That
now you're
was
done.
like unimpressive. Like, and she's like, well, they're doctors, they're dentists, and they got money. And I'm like, I got money too. So what are we talking about? You know, it needs something of substance. And I just think, you know, it was fun or whatever for the show, but they're not, you know, they may be great guys in their own realm of life. But for me, it's a strong no for me.
Not
Would you
good for
trust
you.
any of your other co-stars to set you up?
We would have to have detailed conversations first. Yeah.
They were needing me resumes to be shown and
yeah.
interviews to happen.
Yeah.
Have you been in the dating pool recently? Have you gone on a good
You
few
know
dates?
what? There have been a number of guys. I said, honey, were you guys waiting for Miss Quad to finalize her divorce? Because it's like they just came out of like the blue. Like it was like the floodgates were open. But you know, I'm still very selective though.
Oh yeah, you got standards. You got standards.
What's
Well,
on the list? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for someone who's a hard worker, who's dedicated, who is unselfish, considerate, loving, kind, someone who is ready to be a team player. I'm really looking for a partnership. And I'm looking for someone who could help me grow and to help me elevate mentally, physically, and of course, coinage. That's just how it is. And I'm looking to do the same thing. So I don't want anybody with bad credit.
Okay, older, younger?
You know, I'm kind of leaning away from the younger guys. You know, but it doesn't mean that the older guys are that much more mature. It doesn't mean that. But I think I'm a little bit more safer with a guy who is in the realm of maybe 5 years older than I am. I think I can roll with that.
That's a good maturity balance. I feel like 5 years older is right around where
I think
women
I can
are.
roll with that.
It's out in the universe now.
Yeah.
We have it all out there.
Yes, exactly.
I'm single. I'm ready to mingle. Yes.
Well, we're ready for it. We want to see you dating.
I know, everybody does. I'm like, what is this? I almost felt like people are already like wanting to see me date more than they want to see me have a baby at this point. You know, at one point it was like they wanted to see me have a baby, and now it's like, we need to see her with a new man.
Well, just because I know somebody, would you trust Andy Cohen to set you up on a date?
Well, you know, now listen, I was actually talking to Andy about that, like, hey, what's up with Love Connection?
Right, he did Love Connection.
Is it coming back or why?
Yeah.
You know, or nah, you know. So yeah, I would trust him to put a couple of good candidates in front of me. Yeah, I think that's a thing. I think we can probably make a show of it.
We can make that happen.
I don't even know how you have time to date, though, because you're so busy. You've got your book, your cooking channel, Sister Circle. Let's start with your culinary career and your cookbook. What is your favorite thing to make from the cookbook for the holidays?
Oh my God, it's so many things. It's just so amazing, and it's just been phenomenal. Look at that girl. That girl did it, didn't she?
Yeah.
I'm talking about through the storm. I was actually putting this book together as I was getting divorced, believe it or not, you know. And I just said, hey, this is where I am, and we're not giving up. I'm not throwing in the towel. Everything's going to be great, and everything's going to work out. And I made it happen. But the favorite thing that I would like to cook, and I'm probably going to cook this Thanksgiving, is my seafood dressing. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it's so good. Oysters, a little lobster. We have shrimp in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm doing a Friendsgiving this weekend. Maybe I'll look at that recipe.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do. And then do the turnip greens, too. You look like you need some turnips.
Yeah. Dave, don't mess it up, though.
I will not mess it up.
You know what? He cannot, because everything is so well detailed, but it's super simple. And I also want people to know that it's just not illustrations and then, you know, instructions on cooking. It's actually some life stories in there. And you can take those life lessons from, you know, the kitchen and incorporate it in your everyday lifestyle. And that was my purpose, and that was my goal. So.
I love it.
Well, speaking of life stories, you do an amazing job of sharing yours and getting those out of others on Sister Circle.
Yeah.
How long now have you been doing that?
3 years.
Congratulations.
3 years. Nationally syndicated show. Sister Circle has been absolutely amazing. I've met so many people. I mean, there's been some fascinating stories, and it's really interesting because, you know, people are always very afraid to come to like a talk show because it's like, okay, who's gonna railroad me? And we're not there for that. We really just want to get the honest truth out there and give people an opportunity to let their voice be heard. And that's what we facilitate at Sister Circle. So it's been great, honey.
Well, congratulations. You have never looked better. Honestly, you've never looked better, girl.
Did they think I was gonna die? Did they?
No.
Did they think I was gonna shrivel
I'm just
up
saying, you look beautiful these days.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You are hitting it in all the right ways.
Bye-bye, black sheep. Yeah.
We have to go to break quickly. When we get back, we're going to break down the latest drama on Married to Medicine. Stay tuned, honey.
I think I...
About 14 years ago, I got breast cancer. To find out the thing that we grow up, most of us wanting to do, you can't do. And Buffy, you can relate. You're infertile.
Okay, then. Well, we're still here with Miss Quad Webb. What was that?
It was very busy. It was very busy, to say the least. But, you know, I got to say, you know, it's that the pot calling the kettle black. You know, I don't think that it was meant to be malicious at all. In fact, I don't think that Buffy is infertile. Now, she said that she produces eggs herself. Right. She said, you know, and, you know, things are working. I think it's a challenge where she's having issues with possibly carrying, but she never said that she didn't produce eggs. She said she still is producing eggs. And so that's what lended me to go over and say, hey, how about thinking about a surrogate, you know? There are other options out there.
Yeah. That was a call out, though, of call outs. The whole room, it was like,
it was
not
very
picking
busy.
Up any sounds.
It was very busy, but it wasn't like that, you know, at the party.
Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't, yeah.
Well, the party was to celebrate Dr. Jackie's book, The Queen V, which is all about
the
Queen V. I read it. I read it. Andy wanted to make sure that I understood what was going on, you know. So
do you have a better understanding of your vajayjay?
I told him, I was like, I actually learned quite a bit about my Queen V, and like
Are you ready to wear the crown?
I'm ready. No, I'm ready. What is this book a discussion of the female body? mean to you?
Well, it just means liberation. It means to be able to celebrate and to be bold and to speak out loud and not to feel ashamed to talk about our vajayjay, because everybody wants a piece anyway. So why can't we talk about it?
Not Dave, for the record, though.
Well, you know.
Yeah, the press company excluded. I take over that role for him.
Yeah. But it is like, a lot of people want the vajayjay. So I think we should be able to talk about it openly and not feel the shame or not feel that we are made to be judged behind it. I mean, a man can walk down the street and he can, he can really hold his kahunas if he wanted to. He can. But we have to be hush-hush about our vajayjay. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it sure is beautiful. I am in touch with mine.
Yeah, we're making Dave very uncomfortable over here, which is what I like.
Gears,
Oh, he wants to switch gears.
This is why we have to have the Queen V. This is why the book is out there.
Amen.
I appreciate the Queen V. Great for you guys. But I do want to go on and talk a little bit about this couples trip that's coming up to Cabo. We saw a little bit of it on Sunday's episode, more coming next week. And some of your castmates were a little worried about you being invited. Let's watch this.
Let's take a look.
You can absolutely learn from her. What? Like what not to do.
She's got to learn, how did I contribute to my divorce? What could I have done differently? What choices will I make the next time?
This don't sound like a fun trip.
Oof. What did you make of all that? Were you uncomfortable about going on the trip?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Why would I be uncomfortable? I am who I am. And I think through life's journey, you become more experienced. I was not uncomfortable at all. I think a lot of the ladies were not uncomfortable. They just wanted to stop my cointage. I mean, we get paid, let's just keep it 100. We get paid per episode, and normally our trips are at least 3 episodes. And so if we can kick her off the trip, then that's 3 checks she won't get. Not mine, girl. You won't be in my boot purse, girl.
Wow.
That is some golden hot tea.
Seriously.
That's just real. That's just real. I don't think, listen, because here's the deal. I've been around everyone in that group. We've been friends. We've hung out. I have relationships, friendships with their husbands, and no one had ever been concerned. I think this was just the time to say, let's see what we can do. And it was very sad to me because I'm like, are you guys going to throw me away because I don't have a man who's validating me anymore, just because I was in a bad marriage and decided to rid myself of that or free myself of that? And also even giving my ex-husband an opportunity to go out and find someone who was a little bit better for him at this time. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They really felt a way about you from get-go.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to your divorce, they were not there for you throughout the
Not at all.
separation, and it felt like they were trying to drag you down.
It felt like that? No, that's what it was.
It was.
Let's call a spade a spade. A spade is not a club, it is a spade. And they were trying to do that. And I thought there were a number of them, not all of them, let me just state that, but I thought that there were a number of them who utilized that as their source of entertainment. And they wanted the information not to console me or help me through it, but it was just something to talk about. It was another talking point. And that was really sad that my relationship and marriage had been reduced to that in reference to people who so-called themselves my friend.
Yeah. Well, you've risen above it.
You really have, and we're here for you.
Can we say Phoenix?
Yeah, you are a Phoenix.
Yes.
My gosh.
Phoenix, honey.
Quad, thank you so much for chatting with me today, and Dave today. And Dave, thank you as always for being my co-pilot. Watch Married to Medicine Sunday nights at 9, 8 Central on Bravo. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're chatting with the one and only Dr. Drew.
Ooh, I love Dr. Drew.
Welcome back. With me now is the Eagle himself, Dr. Drew. How are you, Dr. Drew?
I'm great. You know what's really weird about you saying that is that when you do that show, they refuse to call you by your name the entire time you're working on it. They only call you Eagle.
Hey, that's
by your character.
That's not a bad. I feel like you're in the White House, like you're in the Secret Service. Calling like the Eagle has landed makes sense.
For me, it was great. But if you're the ice cream cone or something, I'm not sure that's as fun. And so. The way they produced that show is so extraordinary. I mean, everything is completely secretive, including, how people refer to you, just so if nobody can overhear them saying your name.
Right. You're completely quarantined from the rest of everyone else, right?
Completely.
Wow. Well, you are a true reality TV vet. You're royalty, having worked on Teen Mom OG, Teen Mom 2, Big Brother, Celebrity Rehab, Sober House. The list goes on. And now you've added The Masked Singer to your long list of credits. Why did you decide to go on The Masked Singer?
Interesting question. I think it was just sort of a challenge. I saw the ads for it, and I just thought I should do that show. I just immediately thought I should do it. And then when they aired it, I was like, oh my God, I know Ken and Jenny very, very well, and this would be so funny. It would screw them up, and it would screw everybody up to have me go up there and sing. And so I just started chastising my agents that they should call them. And the next day I was on.
Were you worried about singing? Like, were you worried at all?
Oh no, all kinds of problems. So I actually trained in opera many a long year ago. So I used to have a very strong voice, underline used to. and not only that, when you get on the show, they go, whatever you're comfortable singing, you'll get to sing. And then when the time comes, right, you're a rock eagle. He needs rock songs. I'm like, oh my God, I've never done that my whole life. So what I had to do, just to step back a second, as I started training for the show, even before the whole rock thing got into the picture, I realized that the upper register of my voice was just gone. And I knew there was something medically wrong. I knew that it was just absent. So I went and had a laryngoscopy, and lo and behold, I had a hemorrhage on my vocal cords.
Oh my God.
And then once we healed the hemorrhage and the reflux and all the things that was going on, they found a varice on my cords. So the only treatment is surgery, essentially, and vocal rest for like a month, neither of which were an option for me at the time. So the whole Masked Singer operation includes vocal coaches, and they had vocal rehab specialists in the group, and I took full advantage of that, and it worked out fine.
Wow, well, you killed it. Were you surprised at who the judges thought the Eagle might be?
No, I knew they'd not figure it out. However, I was surprised how close Jenny got without saying me. That was weird to me, and it actually was frustrating. And then Ken, a lot of the interaction with the judges you don't see, right? And that's an edited, there's the three that they thought. Howard Stern and Adam Carolla, the two people that will never, ever do this show, I promise you, particularly Howard. When I said that to Adam, he went, well, you never know. I was like, okay, maybe you'll do it one day. But in any event,
let's hope.
In any event, Ken goes, in an interaction that was edited out, he goes, I know you do a talk show. I used to sit in for your talk show. And lo and behold, Ken Jeong, when he was practicing medicine, I used to have him sit in on Loveline. Yes, I knew Ken. I knew Ken before The Hangover. I knew him well. And he was an excellent physician, and he had sort of what it took to sit in that seat. So he did it like 3 or 4 times for me. So he is saying, I know you have a talk show, and I sat in for you. And I literally, if you watch the interaction, I'm sure you can see it, I freeze. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to get it. And he says, you're Craig Ferguson. I was like, okay, well, there we go again. So
you're like, he doesn't have it. It's fine.
Yeah, not even close.
I mean, I listed off your long list of reality TV credentials, but how did it feel to be on that stage singing as opposed to interviewing and counseling people?
Yeah, obviously a very different thing. But I literally was thinking, if I'm ever going to do something, I sing the national anthems at like the Dodgers and the Kings game. So I sing publicly still. But I thought if I was ever going to do anything singing on television, this is it. This is my last chance. Yeah. My last gasp.
Well, on the week you were revealed you had to sing off against the Penguin in the SmackDown. She was later revealed to be Sherry Shepherd. Were you surprised? Did you have any guesses there?
I thought she was one of my guesses. But when it was happening, I had no idea. And I have to track Sherry down and give her a piece of my mind. She destroyed me in that SmackDown. So what you don't see is, again, so I'm up against the Flower. She was excellent. I don't get through. And my team, each character has a team of producers around them. And the team is like, oh, no, don't even worry about it. First of all, they're like, you're never going to do the SmackDown. Well, now here I am doing the SmackDown. And then when the time comes, the only people that ever speak to you are your team when they come into your dressing room. And the door has to shut behind you. And that's the only time you get to talk to anybody. And And I just said, look, this is not a strong SmackDown song. If she has whoever the Penguin is has a strong SmackDown, I'm toast, and it's fine. Everything's good. I had a great experience. Relax, because they were all no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna keep going. And lo and behold, she had a great. She destroyed me.
Something about seeing an eagle and penguin rocking out on stage to each other brings so much joy to me.
I'll tell you something. Hats off to Nick Cannon. He does an excellent job on that show. And he said something that if you listen, he goes, it's a little bird on bird abuse.
So true.
He's got to keep it's a humongous production he has to keep running. The producers there do an exceptional job. I mean, think about this. I mean, all the music that has to be cleared and trained, and the choreography, and then look at the scenes with the lighting and the fireworks. And then managing all these different kinds of people with all different kinds of skill sets, and managing the judges. I mean, it's just a massive operation. They do a masterful job with it.
The costumes and the secret keeping alone has me impressed. It's wildly impressive. In addition to rocking out on stage as an eagle and having a thriving media career, you run a thriving medical practice. How do you balance all of this?
I've been doing it forever. I mean, all the media stuff was a big accident in my life. I just thought I was going to be practicing medicine, and that's that. And I like to do lots of different things every day, and so I get the opportunity to do that. And to be fair, I'm doing a lot less medicine than I used to. I mean, I ran 2 different programs in a psychiatric hospital. I had an acute intensive care medical practice, a hospital-based practice, an outpatient practice. I did that all at once, and that was all going on back when in the 90s when somebody approached to do Loveline, and I was like, how do you do a TV show? I have no idea what that even is. And I said, look, I've got Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon. If you can fit it in there, then we can do it. And that's what we did.
I'm curious about the outfits and the costumes. When you actually saw that you were going to be this like rock star eagle, were you intimidated, or were you like, I'm hitting this head on?
Well, a little bit of both. And so what happened was I was preparing Sinatra and Bublé and musicals and all things that I could sing comfortably. And then I put the costume on. And that was about 3 weeks before I was filming. And I was like, oh no, this is a rock eagle. I can't stand up and do Come Fly With Me with Frank Sinatra or an American, God Bless the USA or something. Because I was thinking just eagle. I was just thinking, a stately eagle. Then the costumers, and they coach you up too. The costume people have an idea in mind about what the character is. And they're like, motorcycles, rock star, this is what the eagle is. And I was like, oh, I got to go back to the drawing board, and we're going to have to do rock. That's it.
Hey,
that's it.
You played it well. Dr. Drew. I swear. Do you actually?
It really was a lot of fun. And again, screwing with point for me. And I don't know, had never met Nicole or Robin until that moment. And they were, again, a lot of stuff gets cut out. They were very kind and delightful.
Are we going to see you rock out a little bit more in the future? I got to see this, Dr. Drew.
If I have an eagle head on, because that's the other thing about it. These costumes drive you. It's like a cloak of invisibility, and then the character just takes you. You just go where it drives you. It's a very weird experience. But if I were producing humbly the Masked Singer, I would bring everybody back and do something, because this is an extraordinary group of really interesting people, and people would watch it. I'm sure they would. So I think, though, they're probably getting on to the next season already. That's my bet. I have no direct knowledge of anything, but I don't know why they don't bring us all back together. Why don't you bring us all back together?
I'm ready. Please come here. I want the eagle costume. I want the ladybug. I want it all. Give it to me. I will only meet you in the eagle costume. That's how it's going to happen.
Fair enough, whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Well, these costumes, the costumes apparently like tour the world without us, obviously. And so getting our hands on them could be a little bit of a thing.
Well, I know some people. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen, Dr. Drew. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us at Reality Check. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Watch The Masked Singer tonight and every Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox. Stay tuned. After the break, we're playing an iconic reality TV moment from the early 2000s. Well, that was such a great show. Big thanks to Tanya, Quad, and Dr. Drew for being great guests today. Make sure you're following @People on Twitter so you can catch the latest episode of Reality Check, which streams Monday through Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. To wrap out our show, here's a classic moment featuring one of the first docu-follow series. I'm Darren Karp, and that was your Reality Check.
Do you hear that?
In this 2004 episode of Laguna Beach, Kristen Cavallari thinks she's on her way to getting her dad to buy her a new car, but instead winds up overheating in SoCal traffic.
I'm so happy!
Turns out it was Kristen's fault for forgetting to change the oil, and Mr. Cavallari decided not to buy her that new car after all.
My car is donezo!
15 years later, Dunzo remains one of the great moments in reality history, and a pretty cool t-shirt.